Hi everyone, welcome back to the Robert Show. Today we are super excited as we have a very interesting personality on the show, Makesh from Informatica. Makesh, first of all, welcome to the Robert Show. I'm excited to chat with you today.
Hey, Ravi, thanks for having me. It's first time here, so exciting as well. Looking forward to talk about things that are on the AI. Just a quick introduction, Rohit. I'm part of the product management at Informatica. My
Fantastic.
charter is on some of the key initiatives in AI and analytics. Been in the data management space for a couple of decades, and this is really truly exciting times for everybody in this space. Uh,
Yep.
just the way the technology is evolving, and in general, generative AI and things that it makes possible today. So we are focused on adding a lot of those capabilities and innovating for our customers to realize value from their AI and analytics investments. So looking forward to have this conversation with you.
Fantastic. Thanks, Makesh. And yes, you've been working with a lot of enterprises to build trust, govern, and unified data foundation for Gen AI. So that is a very interesting topic. Not only just uh, for the enterprise leaders out there, but we have a lot of audience or a lot of people who've been always talking about this topic. So excited to get deep dive. But to start a conversation, tell me more about your roles and responsibilities at Informatica, and then we can get into uh, different things around Gen AI and data AI ready things.
Absolutely. So my focus here at Informatica is delivering capabilities around AI and analytics.
Okay.
And broadly, that comes along the data integration space, getting data from all these different data sources and
Yep.
things that were critical for our customers and enterprises in the analytics space that's becoming even more relevant in the generative AI space. So I lead a bunch of those things, critical initiatives that enables our customers to realize value both on the analytics and the AI.
Yeah. Thanks, Makesh, for sharing those details. Like I said, let's start with maybe a basic question. How does it and what does it actually mean for an organization to get its data AI ready? Because you talk to a lot of customers, you talk to a lot of enterprise leaders. Curious to know about it.
Yeah, that's a great starting point, Robert. This is one of those critical topics that we all encounter with customers in every conversation. One of the analysts reports suggests less than half of AA projects actually make it to production. And that says something as to the readiness of the data for AI initiatives. The way that we see in some of the conversations that we are having is for organizations to define a business outcome to get data ready for AI initiatives. And what that helps us, and if you mark an analogy, is having destination plotted in your map so you know where you're getting. So when there
Yep.
is a clear business outcome defined, that helps enterprises establish what are the key data constituents that are necessary in getting to that end state. This helps them to also realize what are the key data elements, what are their characteristics, how do they feed into their business outcome to enable those AI projects, what do they need to do from a processing demand standpoint. And something that's overlooked very often is how critical is to have the foundation for these data elements. As an
Yep.
example, we talk about the relevance of data quality, data completeness, data governance, and so on and so forth, that over the years have been critical for analytics, as an example. And arguably, these are even more critical when we talk about AI initiatives because the model is only as good as the data that it's processing on. So here at Informatica and everything that we do with our intelligent data management cloud is making sure that we offer that robust foundation that our customers can build on so they have data that's ready for AI initiatives.
Yeah, I think Makesh, great insights here. You mentioned about a very important point that I always hear, and sometimes it's like a big missing piece for a lot of enterprises is data quality and context for obviously AI, and those two are like two big pieces when I talk to a lot of enterprises. Yeah, not that governance and security don't play, they equally play a very important role when it comes to the AI projects. So thanks for sharing those things and how you've been kind of obviously helping organizations to get data AI ready as well. When we talk about, obviously a particular path or a framework, there are definitely challenges as well. So, what are the biggest data challenges you see organizations contending with today to drive their AI initiatives? Any thoughts around that?
Yeah, and I trust it's not just you and I talking about challenges when it comes to delivering data for AI projects, right? This probably is one of those key boardroom conversations, CDOs and CIOs talking about how do we get data ready for AI initiatives, because everybody's got the pressure to deliver AI projects that can make transformational changes to businesses. And that all starts with strong data that AI projects can be built off of. Um, the challenges are multifold, but before getting to the challenges, I
Mhm.
think this is just a generational opportunity in terms of what generative AI offers. There's just so much excitement, rightfully so, and so much potential that generative AI can offer enterprises. But it comes with a lot of challenges to getting to that end state where they can realize value out of their investments.
Right.
I'll probably touch upon some of the key challenges, Robert, starting off with getting complete data, contextual data, is the critical starting point for starting AI projects. Data is spread across different data places in enterprises. It's applications, hundreds of applications that large enterprises have. It's on-premises cloud. There are some legacy applications in there. And all of this needs to be first understood, realize that these are data sources. This is the context that it offers so the models can actually make sense out of. Not to forget, whichever way you see various analysts' outputs are 80 to 90% of data that enterprises hold are still unstructured. That's a huge mountain of
Mhm.
untapped data that exists in enterprises.
Yep.
That needs to also be brought in for AI projects to be successful. The other major challenge that we see, just as you touched upon data quality, just the element of having data quality, data governance, complaints built around this data framework.
Mhm.
Making sure these AI models that operate on the data, enterprises know where this data is coming from, what kind of processing that it went through, what kind of context that it is adding to the model when it comes to the outcome, and having governance framework, for example, like compliance policies. There are data domains that are critical to be established, and establishing what model or which consumer needs to work on which data domains. So having those domain intelligence, applying those policies for consumers, and that could be agents, that could be models, is also a very critical aspect that we see enterprises running into. And I'm assuming, and I'm pretty sure this resonates with your conversations with leaders and enterprises as well. The third challenge that I want to touch upon is just the skill set and expertise that this all demands. This is just rapidly changing as we just speak. I'm sure somebody has a new version of model deployed and whatnot. And it's just so hard to keep up with this. A lot of enterprises look for, hey, I've got this workforce that is building all of these AI or this data initiatives. How can they also use their expertise and extend their expertise to be able to build these AI projects? So these are some of the top initiatives. I can just keep, or challenges, if you will, and I can keep going on and on. And I'm sure a lot of this resonates with your conversation as well. But I just want to anchor on those three top challenges.
Yeah, no, totally. I agree 100%. Like I mentioned, quality and you know, quality and context is very important. In first of all, data quality. If you don't have the right data, if you don't have the uh, if you're not focused on the data quality, how do you see those results when you're implementing AI? So hallucinations can happen if you don't have, obviously governance in place. Security issues, they can happen. A lot of trust that you have on data can be, obviously it can feel a little not so right. Those are fantastic points, Makesh. I'm kind of also curious to learn a little bit about IDMC, and we've been hearing a lot about that. How is it helping Informatica customers to get their data AI ready? Kind of curious to know a little bit more about that as well.
Yeah, and Ravit, I'm sure you're no stranger to IDMC.
Yeah.
But just for everybody, excited to talk about how at Informatica with IDMC or Intelligent Data Management Cloud, we're enabling our customers to realize value out of their data and AI investment. And just as you were touching upon from data quality and some of those key challenges, leading analysts say or predict 60% of AI projects will fail by 2026 due to lack of good quality data. And
Right.
we'll touch upon how IDMC helps with addressing some of those challenges. Starting off with IDMC brings in that single unified pane of capabilities across the data management spectrum and starts with knowing the lay of the land, understanding all the data attributes. And then, like we spoke about, data is very diverse. You've got structured data, you've got unstructured data, you've got data on all these different platforms, cloud, on premises, hybrid, in between, you name it. And at different scale and different processing needs, it could be
Yep.
hierarchical, it could be flat, and so on and so forth. IDMC brings in that breadth of capability to connect to data no matter where it resides, because the starting point is to have all the data that is necessary for the models. So
Right.
the robust connectivity framework and the processing framework, be it processing, transformation, ingestion, replication, having the latest data available for consumers and models and agents, IDMC brings in a breadth of capability when it comes to getting all those data together. The next critical aspect of IDMC, like we talked about already, is the governance framework, the unified metadata management framework, which is very critical because, like you said, hallucinations are not uncommon and something that really requires tracing back to where the model's producing the outcome it's producing, because some of these things are not introspected by human. It's agents that are making critical business actions, or they're doing something as a consumer. So enterprises want to make sure the agents and the consumers have high quality, trusted, reliable data that it can be working on or operating on. So having that metadata framework governance that gives full visibility in terms of end-to-end lineage, applying those data quality rules to make sure data quality rules are in place based on data deficiencies, and having those compliance policy in place so right person, right models have the right data at any given time, because the cost of complaints is just huge, or not doing right thing for complaints is just enormous.
Yeah.
The third piece that we want to talk about how IDMC is enabling is, as we talked about in challenges, just the expertise that we constantly hear in our customer conversations as well. What we're doing in IDMC is also enabling our customer base that have been traditionally using Informatica IDMC for a lot of their critical analytics and other data initiatives with the same low-code, no-code interface. Users that were ETL developers or data analysts that have been building lakehouses, data warehouses, data marts, you name it, now they can just use the same expertise. And just as simply they were able to do all of those things in the past, they can build their AI projects. I'll give you a few examples from it, starting off with they can use the same low-code, no-code expertise today and perform very custom operations like chunking and embedding that's critical for doing RAG pipelines that are necessary for RAG inferences at the end of the funnel so the models can make inference and make decisions. We enable our users in IDMC to do that with the low-code, no-code interface. They can even use the same low-code, no-code interface to be able to do things like, hey, I want to do sentiment analysis on customer review feedback, calling AI functions that are across those cloud platforms, being able to call those AI functions. Again, all with the same experience and expertise that they are known to for a number of years. They can use the same expertise to also do such capabilities. Unstructured data that we talked about is massive. We've talked
Yep.
about how enormous. We are just scratching the surface. Enterprises are scratching the surface when it comes to tapping the potential of unstructured data. Our
Yep.
focus investment also has been on providing with the same low-code, no-code interface, being able to parse and handle unstructured data like PDF. You've got images and PDF files. You've got emails and back and forth and content that's in there that's necessary. That's got the context that's necessary for use cases like insurance and claims and so on and so forth. So we've done a lot in enabling our existing customers or the low-code, no-code interface to extend to generative AI projects. But we didn't stop there. Our focus with IDMC, and you've also heard about that in the recent past, is also use the same experience to also build agents, not just producing data that's necessary for AI projects, but also building those agentic framework, bringing on those models, stitching them together, bringing in memory, and so on and so forth, all the constituents that are necessary to build agents. So that's something that we've enabled. And we've taken a step further. We are, again, soon everybody's realizing the value of AI in the data management space. So our investment in things like Flare GPT and Copilot, where
Yep.
we are everything that we talked about in the data management, like data ingestion, replication, our end users are able to just build those with NLP interfaces, just ask things in English, and that's building out. So it's really cool and fascinating that we are able to enable AI to enable our customers to build those AI projects and realize value. And there's tremendous traction, feedback, excitement around this from our customers. And that's reflective in our roadmap, our investment as well. There's more coming out and super exciting times.
Oh, totally. I think IDMC is like a game changer for a lot of enterprise leaders, because not only just that I'm talking to leaders internally at Informatica, but also the users. So it just validates a lot of things for me. But looks like you'll have been kind of doing a lot of things here to make sure where there's obviously data AI readiness, but at the same time there are critical problems and critical frameworks which are necessary, and obviously all the enterprise leaders need to make sure they are having those IDMC and other tools from Informatica in place to make sure that happens. So Makesh, this was great, and thanks for sharing everything in detail. I have a quick also quick fun rapid fire sort of questions that I wanted to do with you. And these are like quick sort of answers which we might need. Are you up for it?
Absolutely. Love it.
Okay, let's do it. So, what's the single biggest mistake companies make when preparing data for Gen AI?
Um, um, I think, as they say, and you touched upon this, garbage in, garbage out. So I think more data into models doesn't necessarily mean better outcome. It also is having right quality, good quality data fed into the system based on the context and the need. So I think that's one of those things that we're seeing. Hitting with more data is not necessarily going to be helpful, but having the right data that's necessary makes the best outcomes.
Totally. If there is one message you would like our audience today to come away with, what would that be?
Um, that's a great question, and I think it all starts with, rightfully so, the excitement is just through the roof in terms of the avenues and the capabilities that Gen AI can offer enterprises. But I think if I have to tie this back, it starts with having that strong foundation layer that has all the necessary elements of data, making sure AI projects are successful. Things that we touched
Right.
upon, having a holistic view, having the right governance framework, the quality framework, having all the data connected, complete, making sure the models are as reliable and the outcome is something that actually enterprises can rely upon. So starting small, starting with a small problem, building that robust framework and scaling up for enterprises would be something that I think we've seen a lot of enterprises do, and something that I would be a big proponent of in making AI projects be successful.
Amazing. Makesh, one last question. A trend that you are excited for in the future?
Uh, this is personally also something that I'm very involved with, and what we see is not just us enabling AI for enterprises, but also how we can enable AI in the data management space. And I think it's in all walks of life. There's very little things that we do in life these days that does not have a manifestation of AI, if you will, starting from how we use our mobile devices and so on and so forth. So I think the evolution of what agents and co-pilots can
Yep.
do is just super exciting in terms of, not there's a lot that we already do in terms of automatically building pipelines and, doing MDM and so on and so forth, but just they have the possibility is just like unbelievable, and that's something that's super exciting for us here, and things that we're working on, and we are looking forward to delivering those AI capabilities to help our customers in data management and accomplish AI projects and beyond. So that's something that's super exciting.
This is amazing. Makesh, thanks for sharing these great insights. And, obviously, uh, thanks for also giving us more details around not only just making the data ready for AI, but also the critical factors that play a very important role, and also the customer use cases that you shared are fantastic. I'm pretty sure our audience would love to keep the conversation going, and we would love to keep the conversation going, and definitely looking for a 2.0 session very soon with you. Uh,
Absolutely.
but like I said, we'll keep the conversation going, and I'm pretty sure if people want to reach out to you, LinkedIn should be the best place to reach out to you, Makesh.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm pretty that definitely. There's love to hear from your audience on things, and if
Yeah.
something doesn't resonate or whatnot. So absolutely.
Awesome. This is great. Makesh, as I said, we'll keep the conversation going, but that's a wrap for today's conversation. The key takeaway, obviously, GenAI success starts with data you can trust. So, everyone, thanks for tuning in today on the Ravit Show. Go follow Makesh and ask him questions. He's very approachable on LinkedIn, and definitely stay tuned on the Ravit Show. We'll share more insights from leaders shaping the future of data and AI. And see you next week. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Robert.
Thanks, Makesh, again.
Thank you.